Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Learn Life Science. Myself Vinita Tiwari and I am going to continue the genetic engineering second part, that is the cloning vector. In this session we will be discussing two different vector. The first one is bacteriophage vector. We will discuss two different types of bacteriophage vectors and also we are going to see the important examples of bacteriophage as a vector. Then we are going to move to second vector, that is cosmid vectors, and we will look with it an example of cosmid vector. Okay, so now let's get started. So talking about bacteriophage are simply the viruses that infect bacteria, right? We know that bacteriophage are a kind of viruses with their own genetic material having the ability to infect the bacterial cells. If I want to give an example, you can see diagrammatically. For example, this is a bacterial cell E. coli with its own genome, and here the bacteriophage infect the bacterial cell in such a manner that it injects its genetic material into the host cell, right? Once the genetic material is inserted in the host cell, this genetic material of virus can lead to two different pathways. The first pathway is the lytic pathway and the second pathway is the lysogenic pathway. We know that in lytic cycle what happens, the viral genetic material takes up the machinery of the bacterial cell, and what happens, it synthesizes its own packaging material. For example, it replicates its genome, it transcribes, it translates its genome and expresses the proteins which are involved in synthesis of the infectious particle material. There is formation of head, there is formation of stalk, there is formation of tail, and all the packaging of viral material is done completely. And then once the genetic material of virus is replicated, it gets packaged in the, this is the packaging material of virus. Okay, this is the packaging material of virus. The viral DNA undergoes replication, it undergoes synthesis of the head material, stalk material, tail material, and then it undergoes the packaging. Once the process is completed, there is lysis of the bacterial cell which causes the release of all the bacteriophages which are now ready to infect the another bacterial cells. Right, this is about the lytic cycle. What happens in lysogenic pathway? There is integration of the viral genome into the host genome. The red color one is the viral genome. It gets integrated in the host, that is bacterial genome. And the reason of this integration is when the area surrounding the viruses are unfavorable to survive, then the pathway is lysogenic. But when the area is favorable, when the region or when the environment is favorable, they carry out the lytic pathway. Okay, so in this case, the main motive of this background is that you can see that this viral genome is having the ability to replicate, to translate in the host cell and to express the proteins. For example, here they are expressing the proteins which are involved in the synthesis of the body, okay, like head, stalk or tail, right? So in the similar way, scientists took it as an advantage, and what they did, they took this bacteriophage genetic material and started using it as a vector. They started using it as a vector in the form of, they started inserting viral or foreign DNA into this bacteriophage DNA, so that now when the virus will infect the bacterial cells, there will be expression of all the genes on the viral DNA, right? And now there will be expression of the proteins which we want to express in the host cell. Okay, so this was taken as an advantage and now we use bacteriophage as a vector. Okay, so this was the scenario. Now bacteriophage or phage are the vectors which can carry the foreign DNA with load carrying capacity of 20 to 25 kb. Means this bacteriophage genetic material can carry the foreign DNA of capacity around 20 to 25 kb. Okay, you can insert this much size of the foreign DNA into the vector, means the bacteriophage DNA. Okay, and you can see that the load carrying capacity is much enough, and therefore the transformation efficiency is also found to be more. Transformation efficiency means the successful transfer of the vectors into the host cell, okay, for the expression to occur. So this was the first part of bacteriophage. Now we are going to discuss the types of bacteriophage vectors. So there are generally two different types of bacteriophage vector. The first one is the insertional bacteriophage vector, and the second one is the replacement bacteriophage vector. In case of insertional bacteriophage vector, you can see in this case, this is the genetic material, and in this case you can see that there is only single restriction site on the DNA. Only single restriction site is present, or only single target site is present for the activity of restriction enzyme. Okay, means the restriction enzyme is going to have its own specific target sequence, and in this case the enzyme is going to make a single cut. It is going to make a single cut at a specific site, and it is going to lead to the opening of both the fragments. Okay, you can see in this case. Okay, so there will be single cut. Now the cut is brought about at a single target site, and the foreign DNA is inserted at the cut site. It is a very simple process. In this case you can see after the cut is made, the foreign DNA is taken and it is inserted at the site of the cut. There is no deletion of any fragment from this sequence. Okay, there is no kind of deletion. There is only a single cut. There is opening of the fragment and there is insertion of the foreign DNA. In this case, you can see that the load carrying capacity is ranging up around 12 kb. Okay, it is around 12 kb. And you can see the example, it is Lambda GT10 and Charon 164. These are the examples of insertional bacteriophage vectors in which only a single cut is made by the restriction enzyme and the foreign DNA is inserted at the cut site. I hope it is clear. Now moving to the second type, that is the substitutional or replacement bacteriophage vector. By the name it suggests that replacement bacteriophage vector means here we are replacing a segment of the fragment with the foreign DNA. Okay, so in this case you can see there are two sites. There are two target sites for restriction enzyme. Okay, for example, this is the fragment and there is going to be two sites for restriction enzyme, means there are going to be two cuts. Okay, two cuts will lead to the removal of a particular fragment, and in this case you can see that many a times the genetic material of the bacteriophage consists of a sequence which is known as stuffer region. This stuffer region is not essential for the normal life cycle of the virus. Okay, it is not having any essential role in the survival of the virus. Okay, therefore you can use this stuffer region as a replacement for the viral foreign DNA insertion. In this case you can see we have removed the stuffer region, and the stuffer region is removed by the use of two different restriction enzymes which are having specific target sequence right adjacent to the stuffer region. Okay, this is going to cause to removal of the stuffer region, and then you can easily insert the foreign DNA in the stuffer region site. Okay, therefore it is known as replacement bacteriophage vector. I have stated here the region between target site which is not essential for the normal life cycle, that is the stuffer region, is cleaved out and it is replaced by the foreign DNA. Here the load carrying capacity is around 20 kb, means around 20 kb of foreign DNA can be inserted at the site. Examples include Lambda dash and Charon 40. Okay, so these were the two types of bacteriophage vectors. Moving on, next we will see the first example of bacteriophage vector, which is lambda bacteriophage. Okay, lambda bacteriophage, it is a very simple vector. You can see this genome is circular, but I have linearized it. Okay, I have made a cut and I have linearized the genome. So it is having a circular double-stranded genetic material. The size is around 50 kb. The size of the lambda bacteriophage genome is 50 kb. You can see the fragments. This is a 20 kb fragment. Again, this is a 20 kb fragment, and this is 10 kb fragment. The third point is lambda bacteriophage is a temperate bacteriophage. Temperate bacteriophage means it can undergo both lytic as well as lysogenic cycle. Okay, therefore we are naming it as a temperate bacteriophage. Now, you can see here the 20 kb portion here is the stuffer region. Okay, means you can replace this stuffer region with the foreign DNA. Okay, so you can see here only 60% of the DNA, means this 20 plus this 10. This 30 kb represents the 60% of the DNA, and these are essential for the life cycle of bacteriophage. And the central 40% stuffer region, that is 20 kb, can be replaced by the foreign DNA. Here you can see the load carrying capacity is much high. It is around 23 to 25 kb with high transformation efficiency. Okay, so this is a very simple lambda bacteriophage which is used as a vector. Okay, now moving to another important example, that is M13 bacteriophage. So M13 bacteriophage, it is a filamentous bacteriophage. Okay, it is a type included in filamentous bacteriophage. Now, this filamentous bacteriophage have the genetic material in a single stranded form. Okay, you can see here they possess a single stranded DNA of around 7.2 kb. Now, the problem with the single stranded DNA in genetic engineering is, if you want to use a fragment of DNA as a vector, then it should be in double-stranded form, right? So therefore, the problem with single-stranded DNA is that it is going to act as a poor substrate for restriction enzyme, because we know that restriction enzyme have specific sequence, specific target site where they carry out the cutting. Okay, and most of the time, very commonly, the target site is in double-stranded form. There is double-stranded sequence which act as a target site for the restriction enzyme. And if you want to use this this M13 bacteriophage as a vector, then how you are going to tally with the problem? So the solution is, you can see the foreign gene is inserted in the replicative double-stranded DNA. Once there is replication of this single stranded DNA, this is going to act as a template for restriction enzyme. Means in this replicative form, there will be cutting of the target site by the restriction enzyme, and there will be subsequent insertion of foreign DNA. Okay, insertion of foreign DNA. Okay, now talking about this M13 bacteriophage, the important point begin from now. So you can see here the M13 bacteriophage has 10 genes. Okay, I have represented it in double stranded form. Okay, just for easy understanding. The M13 bacteriophage has around 10 genes, and they are arranged according to their discovery. Okay, according to their chronic discovery, they have been organized. Now, the important point is all the 10 genes are essential for the infection of the host cell as well as multiplication. Now you can see here the M13 bacteriophage is completely compact, it is completely closed with overall presence of genes. You can see here this is gene 1, this is gene 2, this is 4, 5, 6, 3rd, 8th, 9th, 10th, and this is 7th. These are arranged according to their discovery. Now you can see here, all of these 10 genes are essential for the infection of the host cell and multiplication of the genetic material. Now, also there is presence of another important gene, that is intergenic regions. You can see here there is no stuffer region. Okay, in M13 bacteriophage there is no stuffer region, and therefore it acts as a problem for insertion of foreign DNA. In this case, you can see that there is two intergenic regions. Okay, we will see the function of intergenic regions, but first just focus the intergenic regions. You can see the first one is between the second and fourth gene, means right here, second and fourth gene. Okay, then the second one is between the third and eighth gene, means between here. So what we have studied till now, that there are 10 essential genes which are responsible for the survival, infection and multiplication of the virus material, and then there is no stuffer region in this genome, and then there are presence of two essential regions, that is the intergenic regions. Intergenic regions means these are present between the genes, therefore they are termed as intergenic regions, and the functions we are going to study now. Okay, so talking about the function of intergenic regions. These intergenic regions have a very vital role in the regulation of gene expression as well as replication. Okay, these two intergenic regions simply function in regulating the expression of the 10 genes as well as replication of the viral material, means replication of the M13 bacteriophage. You can see they are involved in initiation as well as termination of replication, as well as they are also involved in morphogenesis of the infectious particle. Morphogenesis of the infectious particle means packaging material synthesis as well as packaging of the viral DNA. Okay, so therefore intergenic regions are very much essential in this case. Now what happens? Now the question arises that where can we insert the foreign DNA? So for insertion of foreign DNA, the IG region is used. The IG region are used for the insertion of foreign DNA. Now, when the foreign DNA is inserted in the IG region, for example, the one is between second and fourth gene and the another one is between third and eighth gene. Okay, once the foreign DNA is inserted in the IG region, the function of the IG region is lost. For example, if you insert a foreign DNA right here, if you target or if you use this IG region for insertion of foreign DNA, the function of this IG region will be lost. Okay, this is due to the phenomena of insertional activation. Insertional inactivation. Insertional inactivation is a phenomenon in genetic engineering, which means that when you insert the foreign DNA in the genetic material, there can be inactivation of some genes in the vector. Okay, so that is insertional inactivation. Similarly, the IG region function is lost. But as we know that IG region is important for the virus, what happens? The nearby genes, for example, second gene or fourth gene or fifth gene, can take the responsibility of the IG region. Means the side by genes can take over the function of regulation of gene expression, which can be possible only by mutation, in nearby genes. So what happens? The first thing is insertion of foreign DNA, right? This insertion of foreign DNA causes the inactivation of IG region, and this inactivation leads to mutation in nearby genes, and the mutation in nearby gene causes them to act as IG region. Means now they are going to regulate the gene expression as well as the replication. Okay, I hope you understood the topic. So in this case, you can see Ig region is very much important, and if we are using the Ig region for insertion of foreign DNA, its role should be taken up by the nearby genes. So therefore, you will study such kind of statement in which there can be arousal of questions like why M13 bacteriophage is mutated. Okay, why M13 bacteriophage is mutated. So this is the answer that I have explained. Okay, now moving on, next we will be talking about cosmids. Okay, so cosmids is a very much easy vector to understand. So in 1976, scientists named Fukumaki and his colleagues, they proved that a small segment of Lambda bacteriophage is sufficient for in vitro packaging of the infectious material. What they stated that this is the Lambda bacteriophage, for example, and this is its genome. Okay, they have stated that even a small segment, means if we take a little segment from this bacteriophage and we insert it in a host cell, for example, you have inserted it in a host cell, it was found that this small portion of the DNA is sufficient to replicate, to transcribe, to translate, and to express the proteins. Okay, expression of proteins means the expression of those proteins which are involved in formation of the head, formation of the stalk, formation of the tail. Okay, means this small fragment is sufficient enough to carry out the entire process of infection and multiplication. Okay, so this was proved by Fukumaki in 1976. Later on, scientists named Barbara Horn and Colin, they worked on the same thing in 1978. They prepared such infectious particle by taking that small segment, this red small segment, which was termed as cos site. Okay, so this was termed as cos site. They have taken that small segment termed as cos site and they integrated it in the plasmid. Okay, what did they did? They have taken the cosmid and they have integrated it in the plasmid. So this is the region from plasmid and this is the cos site which is taken from bacteriophage. Okay, which Lambda bacteriophage. Okay, so there is integration of two things. The first one is a part is taken from Lambda bacteriophage and it is integrated in the plasmid which is taken from another bacterial cell. Okay, so this structure you are saying, this cos site plus plasmid, it's termed as cosmid. Okay, here the cos site is from Lambda bacteriophage and the mid means the plasmid is taken from the bacterial cell. Okay, so now cosmid is a hybrid vector where the cos site from Lambda bacteriophage is inserted in the plasmid. It is very simple. Here the cos site from Lambda bacteriophage is inserted in the plasmid. Okay, now talking about the characteristics of cosmids, you will see that the plasmid is used for the ori region, means the origin of replication region is taken from the plasmid. The target site for restriction enzymes are taken from the plasmid. Then the antibiotic resistant gene is taken from the plasmids. Okay, these important three regions are taken from the plasmid which we have studied in the previous lecture. Okay, and from Lambda bacteriophage the cos site is taken. The main purpose of cos site is for the replication, for the multiplication as well as for the packaging. Okay, you can see the size of cosmid is very much less, it is around 5 kb only. But you can see that the load carrying capacity is ranging from around 40 to 50 kb. Means around 40 to 50 kb of foreign DNA can be inserted in this small cosmid, which will give you high transformation efficiency, means there is high successful rates when you use cosmid as a vector. Okay, so as I told you, it is a very simple vector to study and learn. Okay, talking about an example, there is a cosmid named PLFR5. You can see here it is having two cos sites. It is having 6 target site for restriction enzymes, means it is having a polylinker, multiple target site, which is beneficial for the worker or the scientist to work with it. Okay, because there is wide choice of restriction enzyme to work with. There is single origin of replication which is taken from the plasmid. It carries antibiotic resistance gene, that is tetracycline resistance gene. The load carrying capacity is around 50 kb. Okay. Also, it was reported that if the cosmid is derived from P1 lambda bacteriophage, the strain of lambda bacteriophage, if you use that P1 lambda bacteriophage for the construction of cosmid, it will give you a load carrying capacity much high, around 85 kb. Okay, so this was also an example of cosmid. Okay, so I hope you understood all the points. If still you are having any kind of doubt, you can mention in the comment section. Okay, and if you have missed the first lecture on genetic engineering, in which I have started with cloning vector, you can watch the video and then you can switch to this video again. Okay, thank you so much for watching.